So you speak about the EEG as identifying these brainwaves and mapping them. Does the EEG then help? Like, what is now the physiological input that helps us to mold our brainwaves?
Okay, great
with
question.
the neurofeedback. Yeah.
So neurofeedback is essentially a computerized system that uses the EEG just to measure, and so there are various systems that are available. And what's important about it is that the feedback is actually what's doing the training for you. And that's the conditioning part. That's the stimulus part. So it's literally like when you want your horse to do something and he does it, and we pat him. Then, or her, sorry. But as soon as they receive
I know exactly that you have a gelding. I can tell. Carry on.
So when they receive that conditioned response and they like it, it's a reward, it's something that they want to move towards, they're likely to achieve it again. Okay. But when they do something and we are too harsh on them, so we negatively condition them, so we hit them too hard or whatever, this is often where it becomes very stressful for horses, and then they're unsure what to do, just like with us. We're unsure of what will work. So what a lot of people often say to me is, I didn't understand what my coach was saying, or what they said to me when I was falling off wasn't useful. What, you know.
I have a friend whose coach once said, you just have to ride better. That's still my favorite. Like if you're at a loss, you just need to tell someone you should ride better. Thank you.
Or sit up. That's my personal favorite. As you're flying in the air, just sit up.
Or don't fall off.
Yes.
Okay.
You've been ejected.
Thank you.
So those are the some of the things that people say. I really couldn't understand it. So what we want to do is work on their ability to, as we said before, be calm, but also understand things in a way that is computable to them, to the actual individual. So if I see my horse doing this and I'm really happy with it, what did I do? How did I do that? How did I connect that?
And build that pathway.
Absolutely. So we're helping them connect the dots, quite literally, and reinforcing it by them getting the feedback and then understanding what it feels like after the feedback, as we've said. So all of a sudden, when they get onto their horse and they can perform a little bit better, they go, oh, that's great. I wonder what I did there.
And their brain's getting the click and the chocolates. That's,
Okay. So, and also what somebody else said to me, which is really just profound, he said, it's about my awareness, Nat. And it sounds so obvious, but it really is about, his ability to attune himself into being really, really good, being really set in that time, and everything that he needs to cancel out of his mind at the time. And for him, he was saying it's so interesting because if I'm attentive to what I'm doing, I just much better. So I kind of tune into myself and my horse, to a much higher degree. And what's interesting is they always talk about this. They talk about the ability to train themselves for the duration of what they have to do. So whether it's cycling or golf or, if it's, I've had racing car drivers as well, so rally drivers, motorbike, motocross.
It's mental stamina.
Yeah.
Might be the same thing.
Yeah, but it's always interesting to hear that part for them. They're quite aware of that. It's been a process, and they have to learn to manage that process as well as they're going. So it seems to.
I think it's interesting in other sports where you've got an inanimate object as your partner. You often find those sports people taking a little more accountability. Whereas you would think with riders, it's a mixed bunch, right? We're either blaming the horse,
yes,
or we're taking, all of this responsibility.
Yes.
But it really is interesting that you can't expect a flight animal to be with you 100% if you aren't with yourself 100%.
Yeah. And that, that alone is difficult. So we find that most of us go in and out of it. And I'm sure your lessons are similar. There's a part where you also need to interact with the individuals so that they are calmer, that they're having fun, that they're really feeling like it's not this treacherous, haul for them. Yeah. And then there's a part to get serious, which is cool. But what we're really trying to do is say that when we actually need to perform, how quickly do we get into it? How quickly do we recover from a mistake if it happens? And most importantly, how quickly do we learn so that we take evidence of our failures and use it to push us forward? Which is currently, I think, what stops a lot of people doing really, really well.